Cancer. Welcome to your horoscope for the Pisces new moon. This is happening on Monday the 20th of February at 6 minutes past 6 p.m. if you're in the Southern Hemisphere with me. And I gotta say, it's a pretty magical one. I'm thrilled for this Pisces new moon. I'm thrilled for our magical access to this. And I'm gonna go further with you in a minute. But I think what I want to do is let you in on a bit of the, I guess, more complementary side of Pisces. Pisces can get a really bad rap, and I think with the cardinal versus mutable emotional signs, the water signs that you are and Pisces is, there's a jump from cardinal, you, the initiator of emotion, the practical one, the one that gets things organized, the one that nurtures, the one that has a lot of protection in their energy, and Pisces, who is mutable water, which is like the limitless ocean of feeling. And sometimes they can spin out of control because they are so absorbent, because they feel so much. It can be confronting if they're unaware of why. And that can maybe not be, it can piss you off sometimes, because it's sort of like, it's like, pull it together. Like, I'm not keeping my emotions in check. I'm feeling them. I'm doing it, but I know how to regulate. I know what I'm doing. I know what's right and wrong. And you seem to be, doozying up the whipsy, sinking down the drain. So come on, pull your socks up. That's all well and good. You might have some Pisces placements too. So you might have some planets in Pisces. It'll be really interesting for you to see where, because the rationale, or maybe some of the reasons why Pisces can be so tripped out, is because they do feel so much. They are so absorbent that emotions around them, energy fields around them, can be included in their own. And they sometimes get confused about how they actually are feeling because some of it's not theirs. Does that make sense to you? Maybe you can identify with that as well. There might be some interesting planets in your Pisces section of your chart that can go to further explain that. But in a Cancer rising chart, Pisces rules the 9th house, which is where we seek out knowledge, where we learn and expand our minds. And I really like this sort of psychedelic lens of your 9th house, Cancer. I think it's going to be a really great way to explain some of your maybe more esoteric spiritual leanings. And I will say, because depending on what generation you are too, you might have a Chiron placement in Pisces, which can be a tricky one. Because if you're a Cancer rising with that Chiron in Pisces in the 9th, that's a sort of real example of like dogmatic abuse. You may have had a really difficult relationship with organized religions and with the structures of, colonist patriarchal church, top down, all of that thing, thou shalt not. That might be something that you've done all that you can to push away from. And so therefore, the 9th house, there might be trepidation there too. It might be like, whoa, I'm not, perhaps for a long time you didn't consider yourself to be a spiritual person. You were too pragmatic for that because you didn't believe in that, because it was so full of dogmatic hate. That's, you might not be. It's a certain generation, a certain age group that I'm talking to that has that Chiron in Pisces. It might not be you. Anyway, this new moon at 1 degree of Pisces is a real opportunity to create some magic. If you're a spiritual person enough that you believe in the healing properties of tarot and of astrology and of body work and of nature healing, there was someone that I was looking at really recently. They wrote a beautiful comment on one of my videos. I can't remember which sign, which one, but they are a forest bather. And they guide people through, they take them through forests. And it's like immersion therapy. Like, what a concept. And we can all kind of relate to that, can't we? We all know how grounding and gorgeous and at home we feel when surrounded in nature. So at this new moon, as I was saying, this is your moment to ask for the next adventure. I think that's probably a really simple way to put it, is to ask for the next spiritual quest for you. At 1 degree of Pisces in the tarot, we have the Eight of Cups. And this card talks all about that journey. It's a collection of eight emotional lessons, eight bountiful cups of love and loss and sorrow and happiness and shame and guilt, all of the feelings, all of those beautiful feelings that we need in order to exist and interact with this interface. But there's one missing. You can see there's a great, lovely, neat stack there, but it looks so much better with that ninth. It'd be a much more picturesque group. And so this individual here in the red is seeking out, they're going by the light of the moon, searching for that missing cup, maybe in the ocean, maybe in the sand, but somewhere they're on their quest to find it. And so I really like this card in particular in relationship to your ninth house and this moon. We won't see anything, it's a new moon, so it'll be dark. There'll be no moon present in the sky. You'll be using your instinct to seek that out, to eke out that next adventure. It's a real magical time, and it comes at the very precipice. The prelude to the deluge might be a great way to describe what's about to happen in March. I've talked about it before, all of those outer planets ticking over in fairly quick succession, I might say. We get a taste of what Pluto might feel like in Aquarius. We get Saturn in Pisces. This hasn't happened for 30 years. So depending on how old you are, and if you can think back to 30 years ago, and what was the test, what was the boundary perhaps around your ninth house, what was the limitations there, and what is going to happen next. Saturn takes 30 years to go around the zodiac. So perhaps 30 years ago, there was a moment for you when you recognized a sense of spirituality or a sense of hope, for hope and faith in an alternative way, perhaps that was separate to the dogmatic structures of thou shalt not. And so it's coming up again. And so how are you going to further that investigation? What's the next adventure for you, Cancer? What do you hope to learn and perhaps potentially teach as time goes by in regard to your spiritual lessons? Oh, it's lovely. There's some really nice 8th house and 12th house support too. So Mars in Gemini has been there for the 7 months, and we've talked about that kind of pressure, that sort of maybe compulsion to anger possibly, but it's turbulent in your unconscious brain is what I'm really getting at. So because Gemini rules your 12th house, which is where we attach ourselves to the unconscious realm, it's where we dream, where we create magic. Mars has been there in that space, and Mars has been bringing things up, or sort of perhaps attempting to burn things out is what I'm kind of feeling, sort of like getting things off the chest, out of the body. And so this support that I'm discussing is a trine. So remember, it's a supportive aspect, 180 degrees away from each other. And that's with Mercury in Aquarius, which is your 8th house, which is the house of contracts, of intense connection, obligation. And so there's messages available to you in that space. And I think there's sort of what you're learning in Aquarius can be translated and aided by Mars in the unconscious. I hope that's not too wordy for you, but I feel that sort of agitation in just somewhere in you. There's sort of an unrest, and in the sort of more, physical world, the obligations, the the way that you're bound dutifully to other individuals, the way that you prepare for grief, the way that you prepare to say goodbye, the way that you come in together in intensity with someone. You know, the eighth is, we've talked about it before, it's really, really chock full of all sorts of amazing images. Right now, Mercury, the messenger, the one that has the ability to articulate. I think Mercury in Aquarius is really good too, because it's air to air pretty much. You know, Mercury is about the intellect, and Aquarius is an intellectual sign, very smart. So there's something that you're sort of learning in that space, or there's something that's coming out of your unconscious. You're really putting those ghosts to bed. You know, it's a reckoning that I really feel. It's supportive, and it's happening right at this moment. That moment, that trine is happening at this new moon in Pisces. So it's almost, I almost feel this sort of like, you know, it's like I've done my duty of care. I've done this. I've surmounted this. I just got the 10 of Wands, which is, I'll show you in a minute. Yeah, I know what this reading is all about. Yeah, you're moving through, Cancer. You're really letting go of the past shackles. Yeah, or there's something that was holding you in. Oh, that's intense. Yeah. Yeah. I got the 10 of Wands, the 9 of Wands in reverse, and I got the 8 of Wands. Holy moly. Holy moly. Look at that. That's sort of like that image of like building yourself a pyre, you know, stacking those wands up, making, you know, just so much exertion of magic and passion, sort of trying to get this, you know, it's the end of a massive cycle here. And I say pyre because it looks as, you know, it's sort of, it set myself on fire. I'm out of here. This is intense. The nine of Wands is that wounded warrior. It's that standing there, you know, like taking it. It's in reverse though. So it's almost as if this weight is going to be lifted from you. Your wounds are going to be dressed. You're going to be taken care of. You're going to get an extra like dose of steam is what I feel, Cancer. It's going to like be charging you at this moon. It's going to be like, woo, okay, my batteries are back. I'm back in action. I'm powered up. I'm leveled up. Because look, then the 8 of Wands is like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, direction, movement. It's almost like, you know, cast that spell. It's like, and let's focus in on that 9th house because it's important for all of us. It's a, you know, it is about learning. It is about spirituality. It could be about astrology too. It's something that there's something sort of, there's an academic sort of like seeking that you're on. Publishing, maybe, you know, something that you're putting out into the world is sort of like after all of this stress and anxiety and like thinking to yourself, I've made a huge mistake, or I don't have the stuff to get this thing off the ground. I really don't. Like I thought that I did, but I don't. I'm empty. I've given, you know, but look at that. It's upside down. I don't know. I hope these sentences are making sense, but I'm really feeling this energy today. Activate at this moon. Use that support in Gemini, your 12th, your unconscious. You know, Mars has been agitating us for so long now with that energy. But at this point, Mercury is supporting. Mercury is like, actually, this, yep, I can see what's going on here. Do this. You know, that's kind of the feeling that I'm getting with this particular structure of planets. Like, maybe, I'm kind of looking at Venus and Neptune as well. So on the 16th of February, Venus conjoined Neptune in Pisces. So there may be like a feeling of stupefaction, sort of like, whoa, oh, that could be an option, or that seems too good to be true. You know, let's keep this localized to your 9th house, to your, you know, your publishing, your magical offerings. Yeah. You may be feeling to yourself, oh, this feels too good to be true, but let's course correct that, and let's remember that Saturn's on their way to Pisces, so that boundary is going to be coming in. Pisces does like to dissolve things, remember, erosion of boundary. I believe in you, Cancer, and I think that you can do this. And I think that you've really got the stuff. You've got what it takes, and it's going to be awesome. And you've gotten to this point in your life. And I almost feel that this ninth house maybe isn't so much about you learning. Of course, we learn until the day that we die. We absolutely do. But in your magical toolkit, in your philosophical, spiritual notebooks, you know, in the publishing projects that you're about to hit send on, it feels to me like you've really done the work, and you're terrified that because you've done the work that it won't be received, and that will be heartbreaking. I don't think that's going to happen. Not with these tarot cards. You got all wands. Wands are magic. You got almost like a sort of like rewind kind of feeling here. It's like, and it's like, forget it, I'm going to set a match to this whole thing. Actually, no, you're not. It's finessed and it's ready to go. It's potent. I hope that, yeah, I think we got to the point in the end. Sorry if that was a bit of a word salad. It sometimes happens when I get all excited. But that was your reading, Cancer. I love you heaps. Head to umaruby.com, book yourself in a birth chart reading with me. Book the spirit reading. If you're unsure of which one to choose, hit the readings tab, scroll down and go to the spirit reading. We can talk about your sun, moon and rising and develop with the tarot a plan for your next stages. You can also head to buymeacoffee.com/umaruby and throw some money in the tip jar. I've published some zines over the weekend. I went to a zine festival and it was really great. I've written some letters to the galaxy, so I can always hit the photocopier again. So if you wanted one, yeah, write me, send me an email. You can log into, sorry, I've lost it. You can go to my website, sign up to my newsletter, and we can talk via email. Yeah, let's do business over there, not here. It can be a bit spooky sometimes. Much love to you. I will be speaking to you in 2 weeks for the full moon in Virgo. Whew. Gee, that was a big one. Bye.